Hello. Good evening from Melbourne. Good morning if you're in the UK in the Northern Hemisphere. Hello. So, another free-flowing live stream. Hey Amy. If you're joining the live stream, just say hello, drop something in the comments. It's always nice to have an interaction with those who are here, able to stay. This live stream was inspired by not one, but two conversations with dear friends. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you're here. I'm sorry to hear you're in the back brace. Fuck me. Well, get comfortable, Amy. Hey, Sabrina. I was just saying this live stream was inspired by not one but two of my close friends who are both named Sarah. Shout out to the Sarahs in my life. Sarah B and Sarah M. Fucking love you both. Hi there. Just say hello if you're in the comments. If you're joining live, let me know how you are. Hi, Christine. Had a feeling you'd join, Christine. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a good time for you. Anyway, so this live stream was inspired by my friends, two different friends, who were just like, Adrianna, the conversations we have with you are just so fire. Like, you need to get on Instagram and do a live and tell us what you see. Hi, it's good to see you, Sabrina, too. Loads of love hearts back to you, Christine. So get on these live streams, tell us what you see. Tell us what you see. And there's an array of topics because I do see a lot of things. But one thing that's particularly captured my attention recently within my realm or within my industry, which is kind of a weird thing to say about the feminine and embodiment, but nonetheless, I don't know what else to call it. I always find it, and most of you here are guides of some sort, so like it's really hard to like define what you do. But hopefully, like me, you have some people around you that reflect that back to you in the moments that you can't really see your like genius. So anyway, I had this reflected to me, and here we are. And the thing I want to talk about today is like the way that sorry, I forgot to turn my notifications off on my phone. I had to put my notifications off because things were popping up on the top of my phone. So the thing that I wanted to talk about today is really the connection that a lot of like feminine embodiment work has to do with this rising and fighting against the patriarchy. Just gonna have a sip of tea while I put that out there. Hint of sarcasm. Obviously, not to say that it doesn't exist, not to say that, people aren't oppressed and like have had severe things we've had to overcome. Like, don't get me wrong, see all of that. But the thing that I see is like, is perfect, but also needs some improving. Dramatic pause. Yeah. The thing that I see, at least within the circles that I run, is this constant needing to like fight against the system, and that's the only true expression of the feminine. Like, it's not a real expression or valid expression, I should say, of the feminine unless you're fighting against the system. Pausing for dramatic effect. That never sat right with me. And furthermore, it's not only is it this, we all need to gang up together to fight against this thing. Not only is it that, it's that if you don't want to be part of the collective and you don't, you want to do your own thing and find your own expression and voice and relationship to the feminine, like that's also poo-pooed because you're not fighting against the system. Now, it's taken me like a number of months to be able to get to the point where I can actually do a live stream about this, because I was completely rejected from the community I was a part of, pioneering the maiden to mother work. Because I really deeply care about the individual. And not only do I deeply care about the individual, I believe it is at the level of the individual, and only at the level of the individual can we start to create collective change. Because unless you know how you tick, how you work, what is conditioning, what is not, what is your true soul purpose, what is your expression of the feminine in whatever area of your life you want to apply it to, like, that's totally your choice. Unless you can be sovereign in that, then there is no fighting against the system. There is no alternate reality that we can create unless the individual sits in their own power, in their own sovereignty. And it's not to say that we don't connect together as a tribe to create an evolution, but you're missing a step if you don't include, or begin, I should say, at the level of the individual. And this is something that I obviously feel very passionate about, because the fact that people can't see that this is vital, a vital step, is beyond me, but also my thing that I have to hold and bring into existence in an embodied way. But it's also something that I've seen that has been missing in my own journey. Like having someone who sees me and allows me and mentors me, not so allows me, but mentors me and guides me and holds me while I find that in myself. To like be exactly who I am, to hold that frequency so that collective changes can occur. And it feels really important to talk about. I don't see a lot of people really talking about it, especially in my industry, because it's really popular to talk about fighting against the system. Sarcasm again. Like, it's really popular to talk about that. It gets people activated in like the lower three centers, and primarily it gets us activated in anger. And don't get me wrong, I am a total advocate for the expression of feminine rage. I know how transformational that is. I've witnessed it. I've experienced it myself. I've guided others through the experience of meeting that darker, potent, transformational frequency. But then there's also, I think that the piece that I'm referring to, it's like something else I will go into in different teachings, but like that's connected to like victim consciousness. Like there has to be someone to fight against. You have to be, and for that to work, you have to be in the role of a victim to be able to access some sort of fake power to fight against something, and then it keeps you locked in that role. Sorry, I just see a comment here. Let me just get closer. What do you see the collective is fighting against within the realm of like the feminine? I think there's, within the teachers that I've experienced, it's like this total like fuck the patriarchy and over identifying with like being oppressed women who are marginalized, and then only advocating for marginalized communities because you're a good white woman, and that your voice doesn't matter, your individual expression and connection to the feminine doesn't matter. And I'm not saying none of this is true, but I'm holding a very important point, because so much of this transformation requires the activation of the individual. And if you skip that process and run straight to the collective, and this is also what I see, because I use the systems I use are the seasons and elements and embodiment, obviously, but then also the archetypal rites of passage. So if you look specifically at what that work is supposed to be doing, it's bringing health and vitality to the maiden so that she can naturally evolve in her expression to become mother. And I'm not talking about biological, I'm talking about archetypal, which is the psycho-spiritual realm. And if we're looking at this same pattern of like, let's just jump straight to the maturing, then the mother is about the collective and other people. Like if you skip the importance of like the healthy individual, the healthy maiden within, like the mother can never fully thrive. She can never fully become because it's been skipped over. And in some ways is this pattern of like the good girl being repeated again because like, I want to be good. I want to mature. I want to do this inner work so that I can belong in this group over here. It's the same pattern. Yes. Is that making sense, Christine? Yeah. I love the question. Thank you. And I'm just saying like, Amy, you're writing totally. And like, this is really important. And I think this is also what I'm starting to recognize is that I'm probably for fewer people. But it's like a fundamental, you're welcome, Christine. Thanks for asking the question. It's a fundamental aspect that I don't see being spoken about. It's like these patterns of, what's the main one I'm seeing? Let me just have a sip of my chamomile tea. I just remember, I'll just go from here. I just remember when I first spoke this out, like I first named this, and this was like many months ago. And just so you know, like this isn't something this is something I have spoken directly to these people about. So I have nothing to hide, nothing to worry about. Like if this gets around, that's fine. This is exactly what I have said before, so I don't care. Which feels really liberating, I'll be honest, because I have been sitting on this for a while. When I mentioned that this work, this archetypal work and this embodiment of the mature feminine is so unique and based on the individual, like people looked at me like I was fucking crazy when they were talking about how this work should look through the lens of social media, and they wanted to police the way that this looked through different individuals through the trainings and whatever. When that got mentioned, I was like, abso-fucking-lutely not. No way. I'm not going to police the expression of the feminine. I'm not going to rush someone and force them to be like a cookie cutter. Isn't this the same thing as the patriarchy? Isn't this exactly the same pattern of us fitting into a certain identity and a certain way of expressing and a certain way of being and not actually touching our own wisdom, not actually integrating our own inner maiden? Like, I just got hella pissed, and then I got looked at like I was the crazy one, which is again that like wound the wound of the feminine. Like we go into this work as women wanting to belong, wanting to be seen, wanting to be recognized. Hey Hannah, how you doing? And yet through this, like you end up finding the teachers that are for you, like karmically. Like I obviously picked my teachers perfectly. There's nothing wrong with that. However, it is still really heartbreaking when you find out, like when you look behind the curtain and there they are spouting the same shit that they say that they're fighting against, openly like declaring they're against it. And yet they're repeating these patterns in like creating a legacy and a lineage of this work. Like I just fucking can't deal with that. I just can't. Oh, thank you for that reflection, Amy. Beautiful alchemy. And like, I'm so grateful for women like you, Amy, and the few select that I let into my field, because like it is for the few. Hey, how you doing? If you're joining the live, and you're here, just like leave a comment, say hello. we're in a shared space. It's just like the polite thing to do, just so you know, in case no one told you. So yeah, there's this big sort of piece in me in recognizing, okay, like I have the responsibility, hello, I have the responsibility to say what I see, even if that means people don't understand me, even if that means people hate me or project their shit onto me, like the fucks are just disappearing. Like, I just don't care anymore. I just don't care about that. I care deeply about what it is that I'm here to do, which is to guide and mentor women who are here and ready to embody the feminine deeply through their own self-expression. And whatever that looks like, whether you're a guide, a mentor, you know, you work in finance, whether you want to apply this to your relationships. Bye, Felicia. Bye, folks. Yeah, see you later, guys. Don't need you here anymore. Yeah, whether it's in finance or in a relationship, or the most important role of like motherhood, of like raising the next generation. Like these are the women I'm here for. The women who want to have that, you know, personalized experience too. Because this is the other thing that I'm noticing, is that there's a lot of information out there about how things work, but then people are left without the guidance of like how it actually applies to them and where specifically in their life it can be applied. You know, because it is about the individual and your unique expression and the freedom that you have, or that you perhaps yearn for, to be exactly who you are without any of the fucks, and you can wave the fucks goodbye. And I think a lot of it does come back to this healthy maiden, but also like a deep bodily knowing of the feminine principles, like in your cells, in your bones. Because when we have that level of confidence, that level of knowing, that's when the self-expression starts to come through. That's when the freedom of being yourself is present. And don't even get me started on the dancing on the internet again, because my last live was about that. I was like, people who don't, just fuck right off. Go with all the fucks. I'm done. Hey, Hannah. Nice to see you on here. How are you? Oh. So if you're still here, I'd love to know what's resonating. But yeah, it's very strange, like and very paradoxical. Like a lot of my teachings are like my main body of work, my signature program, Dance Your Wisdom, which just so you know, is getting like an overhaul and is preparing to come through in its next iteration. Mind you, it's been over a year since I last taught that, and fuck me have I been initiated through a lot of things. So there's a lot more depth that's going to be coming to that offering. But yeah, it's just something that I'm seeing. It's like this work needs to be tailored to the individual, because that's what creates the freedom through the collective. That's what creates the next generation of sovereign individuals who are emotionally intelligent. Like one of my the mentor I'm working with right now is really talking a lot about like what's coming ahead. And it's not the how-to information. It's not the, I need to know more about how this works. I need more manuals. I need more booklets. I need more courses. I need more this. No. It's about like the individual's awareness. It's like the senses, how something makes us feel. And like what's in it for our highest evolution. Not the collectives, but for each individual person. Like how is it tailored to you so that you are at your highest expression? You know, like I think a lot about the archetypal rites of passage work and how important that is, but also like how there are common threads through the journey, but like just how much tailoring there needs to be to meet the individual and their unique experience so that they can embody it fully. I'm just going to lean in and read the comment here. Even in biological mother, how she mothers herself and her children trumps any activism she may be committed to. Yeah, fuck yeah. Running to save the collective is an easy way out of doing the deepest work. Praise be. If you're in here, if you're watching this and I'm not seeing like love hearts and fire emojis going off in the comments, like fucking hell, that is so true. And like, this is exactly what I'm talking about, Amy. Like, it's such a cop out. And it's another thing of like, to me, is like the good girl pattern. It's like, I want to be liked. I want to have approval. I want recognition. I want to fit in. And I want to do what's correct. And like, it's just so obvious to me, like that this is the same pattern of like the wounded maiden coming up again in grown-ass women wanting to do like the next thing that's correct for them and be loved and approved and be safe. Newsflash, there's no safety in this world. Newsflash. And like even this conversation around like people saying, oh, I create safety in myself. Like that's even something that I'm like really sitting with to try and figure out a better way to describe actually what's going on. And I'm sure there's probably people out there that are doing that, but I just can't see them because safety is such a loaded word. It really, really is. It's loaded. And like from the women in my life who are mothers that I get to observe and to get to like be part of their life, like, yes, they want to keep their children safe, but they also like recognize like there's nothing they can do to keep them safe in the world. Like there's nothing. And, you know, the only thing that I sort of see cutting close to that is like showing them like how to be a fully expressed, responsible human being for like their inner landscape, for their actions, for their thoughts, everything they do in their life. And like, that's the individual work I'm talking about. I'm just going to lean in. There's a comment from Sabrina. Totally. The idea of healing ourselves to be more available or useful or palatable for others. Ugh. How about just for my own fucking sake? Yes, all of that. And been chewing on this a lot lately. Yes, I'm really glad I spoke about it. I'm really glad that you're here, Sabrina, because like, it is that. It's like, what about just do it for your own fucking sake? So that everything in your life is better, and then by ripple effect, things start to change. Like there's like everyone knows like all you can do is control yourself. And I even hate that word. Control, what the fuck? And Amy's got a comment with a teary emoji. Let them be free, as with ourselves. Like let us be free. Yeah. I think that's another like key aspect of like the feminine is like learning how to become masterful at flowing with life as it is. Like that's a huge proponent of the work that I do with women, like this permission slip to feel life as it is through the body. I mean, where else do you do it? Right? But it's a really important piece. And like, I just look at like my goddaughter is like 3. Shout out to her. She will probably not be watching this. Maybe her mum will. But like when I spend time with her, the freedom that she has that is imbued into me and like everyone around her is just so powerful. It's just so powerful. And like, it makes me weep. Like I can feel the emotion like coming up now. And I think it's this same split, this same paradox. It's like, oh, they're vulnerable. We need to protect them. But really it's like, can we support them so that this vulnerability, which is actually their power, stays intact? like, how would that like feel? Like, having, even, on the level of an adult, it's like having these, like, people call me vulnerable all the time because I let my emotions out, and not let them out, but just let them be expressed really organically. And I have a very solid process around that. Not perfect, but solid. And like, people always call me vulnerable, but really what that word is a deeper thing. It's like powerful. It's permission. It gives access to, the awareness. And like, this is where we're going in the future. It's like, we're going to be able to sense way more things. We're going to be able to communicate more through that. And like, granted, there'll be a split where there'll be people who are on that version of reality, are going to keep chugging along in that direction, and the split's going to get bigger. But there will also be these beings, be them this future generation, people who haven't been born yet, or like us, who are interested in this. We're going to be the ones that are going to start to shift this through body-based wisdom, through felt experience. And like, as women, and like, this is another conversation, but like, as biological women, which is what a woman is. Sorry, I'm not sorry. We have in our design innate access to creation itself. Like, we know, we sense things, and we can't explain why. And we've been living in a culture and a reality that expects us to explain why we innately know things. But this is going to start changing. This is changing. And I know you guys get it. I know you get it. Like, a lot of what's happened for me personally over the last 12 months, like in saying goodbye to like all the fucks, as Amy and I were saying before, is just realizing like how important it is to really be responsible for my own expression in every aspect of my life. And how vital it is, which would probably be like another live stream at some point, but like, how vital it is to have integration between the feminine and the masculine. Because to become a sovereign being, to be like the highly free and highly expressed individual, we need both. We need both. And this is also something I don't see people in my industry talking about. I don't. Because it's not all feminine and it can't all be masculine. It's got to be this union. And like, I see a lot of people, from within my field, coming into this like spiritual maturation work, like of deep feminine maturity work, and then something is missing. So a lot of them tend to go out into like the polarity world to try and understand energetics there. But really it's like coming back into the center and feeling that inner union here. And this is where mind, body and spirit come together, and something that's really integral to my work. Hey, Christina. Hey. I'm just going back through the comments. The mystery, what a gift. Innate magic, innate wisdom. Yeah. Taking deep breaths with you. Yeah. There's a lot to breathe deep about. There's a lot. And it is a mystery too. So whilst there's a lot that I see and we can implement to the level of the individual, like, a lot of it's just learning how to be with the mystery, and how we can connect with our own spirit through the body with the support of the mind, so that there's this beautiful, delicious union. Hi, Christina. I'm back in Melbourne, babe. Christina and I went to university together, so it's been a long time. I hope you're well. I really hope you're well. I'm just feeling into what else I want to say. If you've got any questions or anything that's coming up through this conversation, please pop in the chat. It's starting to get dark. And also I love the whole integration conversation because half my face is going black from the lamp. I'm like, yes, this is like a visual representation of integration. And, you know, it doesn't only pertain to the masculine and feminine, but it also like pertains to like the shadow within each of those aspects. Yeah, wait, what? For good? Let's meet. I miss you. Yeah, for good. For good. I moved back several months ago and I'm here. Send me a DM. Be really great to see you. Yeah, as the equinox approaches, yeah, that's hella soon. And it's, yeah, something else I've been really experimenting with and like thinking a lot about. Because I spent so much time, nearly a decade in the UK, I feel like I have this really strong bond to the rhythms of the Northern Hemisphere still. I don't know if you can hear them. There's like a bunch of galahs and cockatiels flying and screeching and singing their evening song. Anyway, I feel connected to the shift here because in Melbourne I'm about to go towards autumn. But as I look at the patterns of my life, I feel I'm at the beginning of a 7-year cycle. So I feel within like the rhythms of my life, I might be physically going into autumn here, but I also feel this spring energy because all of last year and let's just say the last 2 years for me have been like a deep winter, like a deep ending, preparing for this new beginning that I didn't even know what it was going to be. Hi, if you're joining the live, just, you know, say hello, be polite, or not, that's fine. But usually when you come into someone's house, you say hello. Yeah. There's this, yeah, I know Amy, you get it because you've lived in London too. So yeah, there's this deep holding of like the paradox. And like, I feel it's something that is deeply connected to the teachings of the feminine, but also like there's a rare few people that can actually do that. Sabrina says, oof, yeah. Feels like so much undoing to undo. Lots to think on. We'll definitely be in touch soon. Thanks for sharing. I'm off to bed now. Good night. Sleep well. I'm really glad you caught some of this live, Sabrina, and I look forward to hearing from you. I really do. And like just a note on like the undoing, to undo. Like that's what the whole thing is about. That's like what this whole fucking life is about. It's like getting back to that point in which we were children, we were so free and so self-expressed, and like letting that flow all the way through the current of our life as we continually transform. It's like, how do we hold that piece of us still at the center of our system and let everything unfold around that? And like, this is why dance for me is so important, because it is about unlearning. It is about undoing, to come back. And it is constant work. Anyone who says it's not is lying. Back to the comments. Amy says rebirthing energy after a year deep in postpartum. I really love Amy's work. If you don't know Amy, go follow her. That's my tip for you. There's so much synchronicity between us, and I just cherish the fact that I get to walk this path alongside you. I look forward to the day that we meet, Amy. It's going to come. Christine says, I feel like I had to fully drop into the receptivity of the feminine to see how unbalanced it is only to be there. Oof, bang on. And from there, a balance and learning of how to hold the masculine with intention. Yeah, there's definitely phases to this, like 100%. Like, you have to go in phases. Like, look, it's not that I don't have compassion, but like, there are layered teachings And when you first start to enter the realm of the feminine, you're just like, fuck the masculine. I'm just going to let that shit go completely. I'm so sick of like thinking with my mind. I'm so fucking sick of like operating on a 24-hour system. I'm so sick of like ignoring my body's needs, and like I feel so disconnected. Of course, it goes over there. 100%. Vital step. But eventually, what tends to happen is like when you have the embodied experience of what the swampy feminine can be like, with no structure, with no support, with no system. Oh, been there. Definitely been there. It's loaded with problems, different kinds of problems, but problems nonetheless. And then we have to like integrate and overcome that. Like 100%. Love that comment, Christine. And I think where I'm at is like I'm at another layer of that, and feel like I'm needing to speak to those things now on my journey as a mentor, as a guide, to allow the women who are ready for those teachings to like find me. It's like no shade, but like I'm not for the, hey, I'm new to this, can you help me? Can you give me all the information of how? Like that's like the how to is like I'm not your person for that. Like I'm here to like deeply like see where you're at, and I can do it. I can apply it to that, but I feel like I'm more for the women who are at that next stage, and like how to layer that in to their service, like how to layer that into their deepest expression of like what they're here to do, who they're here to be. Yeah, kitties are back. Okay, I'll see you later, Amy. I don't know if you've already left or not, but I love you and I adore you. Thank you for being here. I hope you're feeling better soon. It's a true rebellion. Say more about that, Christina, because I'm not sure which part. Like, there's a lot that's been rather considered rebellious topic of conversation on this Instagram live. So let me know what piece you're referring to. And hi, Maz, if you're still there, nice to see you. Because I never know who drops in and out of these Instagram lives. But yeah, there was a lot to be said. I don't know how long I've been talking for. It's usually around 25-30 minutes, these lives. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the time when I started. But usually my energy just peters out. But, oh, there's a comment. Living within the feminine, living within your cycle instead of within the system. Yeah. I know you joined in late, but like, I'd love to hear, when I repost this, like, I'd love to hear what resonates from the first part of the conversation I was having. Because it does take a lot to live within this. And this is sort of what I touched on about like the individual and the sovereign being, especially if you are living within the feminine principles and the feminine embodiment in a system that we live in. You know, like how do we create a new reality begins with the individual. And it definitely begins with, you know, understanding feminine principle and living within your cycle, and finding other people that live the same way as you do, and knowing how to ask for support, and knowing how to, you know, create the environment that you want to thrive in. Like, it's really hard. But I think I see a lot of people getting like bogged down with like the whole like oppression story and just staying there. So anyway, I feel like that's it for me for this free-flowing live stream. I'm really grateful for everyone who joins live, and for those of you who are part of the replay, thank you. And until next time, you know, until I post another video of me dancing and then me talking. But I'm looking forward to dancing with you again soon, online, and in real life. So Christina, if you know anywhere that I can set up a regular dance, you let me know. And I look forward to chatting to you in the DMs, and I look forward to seeing you when I see you next time. Bye.